Hi everyone, welcome back. This is I Am Spoon with a new game of brass. Today an exciting game that was played on the tabletop simulator a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to show this game because I think it's close to a perfect cotton game, if not a perfect cotton game. And I think it really shows here the potential of cotton as a strategy in 4 players. And yeah, well, without further ado, let's start and jump into this game. I've spoken many times on this channel about the need to score 5 points per turn, per action, so 10 points per turn, to get a good score of roughly 155 points. That puts you in a possibly a winning position. And some strategies can even reach higher if the cards are right, if the merchant setup is right. And cotton is probably the main strategy that's able to have a higher ceiling. So 155 points generally will win you the game. But with cotton, it's possible to reach crazy amounts like 170 in rare circumstances. There are some preconditions though. The merchant setup has to be really good, and no one else should go cotton. Like if people start to screw with your plan, 2 players going cotton. I've shown a couple of games like this on my channel, but it's very complicated. It's very tricky. It can be very volatile. Yeah, but if you're alone going cotton and the merchant setup is good, then that's nice. What do I like for a good merchant setup? I like having the cottons here in Nottingham. It's 3 victory points. It really adds up. It's the best merchant bonus. Except the ones here in Shrewsbury, but there's only 1 of them, and it's a bit harder to reach, especially in Canal. So that's why I like here. And then if you have cotton also in Oxford or here up, where people often would connect for you, and if you're able to profit from the connections they make, then it's nice. So we start the game here with 2 loans from orange and purple, purple here, and then teal developed once the beer away, and I developed for 6 coins, so a bit expensive, but I think it's still okay. Developed away the cotton. So I'm here going cotton. I'm always a bit cautious here to see what other people are doing, especially if a second player goes cotton. That's always very dangerous. But if I'm alone going cotton, I feel comfortable. Here, and I think it's a nice game because it also highlights some of the mistakes the other players made. Not everyone plays perfect, and I also don't see their cards, or I haven't fully analyzed their cards, so maybe they're sometimes playing certain moves that look suboptimal to me, but they just didn't have the right cards. So here red starts and offsets his loan with an iron mine. This is pretty standard, but there's already here a small mistake. I notice he's playing here an iron card, so he could have done this anywhere on the map, linking to the merchant and then doing this. But by doing it here, he already connects an important market, and this will be useful, for example, for me playing cotton, because I can build then in Derby and profit from the link that he has built. So I'm not really sure why he did it here. Maybe he had certain specific cards that kind of pushed him in that direction. I think it's more logical to have done it in Birmingham if you're playing iron, because then you have afterwards a lot of options to connect to Redditch, to Coventry, to Derby, to Walsall, to continue building the iron and to get the level 2, the level 3 iron out. And that's quite strong. So here, I'm not exactly sure what cards he had or what ID he had in mind, but he's potentially helping others, and he will be helping me. And this kind of small mistakes get then compounded by teal doing pretty much the same, connecting here this market. And this is an important market for me because it has 1, potentially 2 beers there for me. That way I'm able to profit from all the links they're building for me. I'm continuing to develop in the meantime, so I've developed a way. I say this is standard. You develop 5 times the cotton and then once the coal. This gives you access to coal and level 2 coal and the level 3 cottons. That's the ones that you want to build. There's 2 ways to play it. One would be to build 3 level 3 cottons and sell them. Another way would be, let me just pause here briefly. The other way would be to also develop beer, do 4 develops, and then start building also some beer, and maybe sell 2 level 3 cottons with 2 beers. That's often played when the merchant setup is not so favorable. But here, if you have plus 3 points, you kind of want to consume this beer, not build your own beer. If you're unable to build level 3 cottons, you could also take some extra loans and just build 2 of them, for example, if you're not able to get a 3rd beer. So take some extra loans, build maybe some extra coal, and you're still doing okay. It's slightly less optimal, but it's still winnable, I think. So here the game continues. I'm not sure if I've really talked about my cards yet. Oh, purple does something strange here. He builds 2 links here. This is definitely weird. You don't want to build links for others, and here you're building two, and you for sure are going to help someone else build an iron mine, typically in Birmingham. So maybe that's just the nature of the cards he had, but I think he should have been a bit more flexible in his strategy. Maybe build a coal. I'm not sure. Why not, build a canal here and build a coal in Burton-on-Trent or Belper or Stone. I mean, surely he must have had some cards that were playable. But here you're helping someone else to get their iron out, and you never want to do that. In Canal, this is kind of a mistake. From my side, I'm now broke. I need to take a loan, and of course, I would like to offset my my loans then with the level 2 coal offsets two loans, and this is so very nice here. I'm able to build in Derby with the Derby card, and then I'm able to build in Dudley my coal. And you see immediately purple is getting punished basically for building links and then just helping me out. So at this stage, I'm very happy. This is very smooth. I've not built a single link, which is important. Links there, in Canal, you don't want to build too many of them. In fact, you rarely want to build more than 2 or 3. They don't really set you up for the rail area because they go away. They don't increase your income. They don't increase your board presence in rail. So they're not valuable for later on. And then from a scoring perspective, as I said, you want to score 5 points per action at minimum, and also set you up further, right? Industries, they increase your income, they increase your board presence. If they're level 2, they will stay in rail, etc. Canal doesn't do anything of that. So Canal, to be valuable by itself, you really want it to score, let's say, 6 points. And even then, it's okay, but not great move. So if you're building canals that are worth less than 6 points, I mean, sometimes you need to as part of your strategy, but you're not really doing yourself a favor with that. Okay, so at the stage, purple now makes use of the links he built to build an iron mine. I think he just kind of really he tunnel visioned a bit on the iron. He wanted to build iron, didn't have the right cards. Yeah, I think he could have maybe scouted, or maybe just built some coal instead. I'm not really sure why he tunnel visioned so much on this, but this is helping Orange a lot. So Orange gets here another iron out with the Birmingham card, and there's many Birmingham cards. So when you connect to Birmingham, you're for sure helping others. It would be a bit different if you connect, let's say, to Thamesworth, because there's only one Thamesworth card. So if you have it, or to Nuneatoners or Valsall or Redditch. So there are a couple of locations with only one card, and then the logic is a bit different. But if you're connecting to Birmingham, you're just helping others. So it seems to me that Orange will go for some kind of a brick strategy, get 2 level 2 crates, probably 2 level 2 beers, and he already got his level 2 and level 3 iron out, and then sell everything. It's very standard. It's quite card lenient, and he was able here to profit a bit of the link of the other, so he's for sure doing well. For purple, he seems to be following the same strategy, but in a bit more awkward way, and building more links. And yeah, so I also think it's better to first build the beers that you need, and then afterwards build the crates you need. But there are a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, the beer spots are more contested; they more quickly go away. Beer is also the more important part of this strategy, in the sense that if you they're cheaper, they give as many points, but they give better income. If they don't flip, then you can use them in the next stage to double rail. So it's just all out better than the level 2 crates. The level 2 crates are just practical to flip the beer. So you want to first build the beer. You also don't need a network to build the beer. While for the crates, you might need a network, or eventually you will need to build a canal to connect to the market. So it's better to just wait and see what the others are doing, that they build your links, and then you can decide where you build your crates, then vice versa. Important choice here, do you build on the coal or on the iron? I'm not really sure. For me, this is very obvious. You cover up the iron so that no one else can use the iron here. You cannot build here anymore. You've built your one industry. In Canal, you can only build once per city. If you build here on the coal, orange could, or red here, could build a link and then build an iron mine and get its level 4 out, which is very valuable. It's 9 points, it scores twice, so it's 18 points. It cannot be overbuilt. So this here is a mistake from purple. You need to build here. So there's actually 3 mistakes here that I noticed from purple. It's building too many canals, it is building the crates before building the beer. There is no hurry to build the crates. In Birmingham, you will be able to build your crate. There's always a spot available for you in Canal. so that's the second error, and the third error here is not covering up the iron, but covering this up. This will probably end up helping orange, maybe teal, but probably not. But yeah. From my side, I just keep on building, and as you see, I haven't built a single network yet. I'm very happy. I was able to efficiently offset the loan, and there's some discussion on what's the right move here. I really think the right move is on the iron. And then from my side, I end up building one canal. I need to build one canal probably at one point. Yeah, to build my third cotton. And on the beer side, it's kind of interesting here. It's quite important. I mean, there's two beers that are pretty much for me. It's this one and this one. Now, I can get disrupted by other people building level 1 cottons. And I actually think it's not even that crazy for them to do so. Like if there's an easy slot available for them, a level 1 cotton, it's of course weaker than a level 2 crate. It only scores once, this one scores twice. So this is 10 points, this is only 5 points if you build it in Canal. But it gives a bit more income, and if you're able to profit from other people's link, or if you're able to disrupt a bit the cotton player, I think it might be worthwhile to build one. So just some ideas on how to disrupt the cotton player. Another way to disrupt the cotton player is to build call yourself, so that the cotton player cannot easily flip his or her call. It kind of bleeds money a bit longer. Didn't happen this game, but early on, I mean, the call usage is not so high, right? It's just the iron mines mostly. Yeah. And we have purple here building another link, and we see here building too many links. This is already 3 links. He will probably need to build one more here, which is 4 links. This is already too many, right? These links, they're worth like maybe 4 points at best. So it's not even scoring the 5 points per action that you need to. And on top of that, I've discussed it before, you kind of really want links to build 6. So you only want to build the minimum necessary. Maybe he was kind of unlucky with his cards. He just had a beer card, so he had to kind of play it this way. But I'm going back to the very beginning. He could have built a beer as very first with the beer industry. He could have built as first location a beer instead of this weird canal setup. He could have built beer in, let's say, a Balsall or something, and then I don't know, connect later to Birmingham. So I think he didn't play his cards right. Yeah. So now he connects to Valsall, and I think someone else has the Valsall card, so that other person can build immediately in Valsall an iron mine. I don't know who has the Valsall card, but I still think it's not played yet. Yeah, so we're getting here close to the end of the Canal era. If you look at my cards, just very nice cards. I have still Numiton, which is there's only 1 card of, so I'm still able to build here a beer, level 1, if I want to, just in case I'm missing 1 beer out at the end. But I'm not even sure this is going to happen. I mean, well, maybe this beer will be gone and I will not be able to use it. But I think ideally I can be able to use all the 3 merchant beers. Okay, and here we see exactly what I had predicted before. Red takes the iron spot here. And red is doing quite well here. It is dangerous. He has all his iron out, and he could now just get a lot of beer out. I mean, he's a bit late in that game, but I don't know exactly what cards he has, but if he has like Colebrookdale or Utoxeter or Burden on Trent, he can still get 2 beers out, and then he could just loan a bunch and go into next stage, not flip his industry, or he could also do a sell action and flip his industry. But in any case, he's probably scoring more than 70 points at this stage. And the fact that he was able to use a bit the links built by purple really helped. And then he was also able to use a link from teal. From my side, I actually have enough money to develop my level 1 beers and build a level 2 beer. And the price of iron was very low because he just built this level 4 iron. So I'm quite happy about that. And I think I'm going into both cotton and beer. This is a bit unusual. Normally you're short on actions to do both of them like this, to build at least 3 level 3 cottons and beer. But this game, because I was so efficient in my offsetting of the loans, because I didn't have to build any canals pretty much, only 1, I'm able to do this extra actions really. And then we see here that teal is going for some high-level cotton strategy, high-level crate strategy, and I've written I've done 2-3 guides on it on my previous videos on YouTube. It's commendable that he tries it out. It's not easy. It's quite tricky. It's easy to mess up. In my view, this is not the optimal way to play it. I refer you back to my previous videos. I think the best way is to develop everything away between level 1 and level 4, and then build 2 level 5s combined with some beer, and then sell using merchant beer and your own beer. That's, in my view, the best strategy, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. I've discussed it previously in my guides. From my side, I'm taking a loan and building my third level. And so this is the key strategy. You want to build 3 level 3 cottons. You want to sell using the merchant beer plus maybe someone else's beer or your own beer, or in a very rare circumstance, your own level 2 beer. And then you want to get some call out as well. And I think in this game I only got 1 call out. I think more typical is to get 2 calls out, but yeah, in this case I was able to get beer out as well, so I'm happy about that as well. Sometimes it depends a bit on the cards you have. But you see, I have a Belper card, so I could have also built a Canal and then a Belper call instead of the beer. But then I'm not sure I would have gotten access to my 3 beer that I need to. So purple builds another Canal, as you can see. Too many canals. 4 canals is too many. 2 is good, 3 is okay and sometimes necessary. 1 is really ideal. I don't think you can do less than 1. 4 is too many. And these are not so strong points, right? It's 4 points, 4 points, 3 points, 4 points. So it's not good enough. And we have red is lost in turn order. That's always nice if you're lost in turn order on the 7th round. You can kind of control the flow of the game. You can often like just build a canal, take a loan, and then be your first in the last turn order, and then you get to do your sell action without other people interfering with it, basically. Yeah, just as a small thought. But in this case here, he won't be first in turn order. We have first purple playing, and purple is selling. But as we see, he's not selling too much. So he's selling his 2 crates using 1 merchant beer, his own beer, and that's kind of it. This is not so strong. Typically you would have a 2nd beer yourself. But as I said, he was probably, I don't know, didn't have the right cards, or because he's first building the crates, couldn't get out to the beer afterwards. Then he only has a level 1 iron, so he doesn't have a level 2 iron, so this one will go away, and this is a bit of gold. So all in all, also no presence at all in the north, only in the south. So all in all, this isn't such a good Canal area. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's at high level play, you're not going to win with this. Then we have red selling next, and red is doing something nice here. So he's consuming 1 of the merchant beer here, and his own beer. So compared to a more typical break, he has a bit less beer than usual, but he has the level 4 iron out to compensate, which is a very big compensation. And then he's also able to use the +3 points from here. So this is very nice for red, and I think red is winning at the moment. This is really a very strong Canal area, partially helped by what others were doing. And then for teal, this is very unfortunate because teal needs 3 beers to sell, and he has 1 here, he has his own beer here, but the 3rd one is just taken away. And this is just the nature of playing high-level crates. It's tricky because it's easy for other players to kind of mess up your plan in a way that's a bit harder with cotton. In cotton, you're protected by 3 level 1 crates, but it's just the nature of the play. More people will be building low-level crates, and then they can take away your spots or your beer. So then, so for gray, there's just no option to sell both. He probably just has to sell level 5 on top. And you see also here for me, I will have the 2 merchant beer and have my own beer. So that's fine. I think actually not so much beer was built in this Canal area compared to usual. Usually you would have 6-7 beers that are built, and we only got 1, 2, 3. We get much less, much more merchant beer which was consumed. Okay, this is kind of the scoring of the Canal era. Now keep in mind how the way I score it. I mean, this is the official way how the rules score it, but in your mind, how you should think of it is that all the level 2 industries that are here, they will score again. They stay on the board, and so you should count them again. So in this sense, red here doesn't have 50 points, but 86 points. The 50 he already has, plus the 36, because they're all level 2 industries that are on the board and will score again. From my side, I have 41 plus 34, so I have 75 points. So 86 is really big. I'm not sure if ever how often seen above 80. Above 80 is very exceptional, but it happens. But 86 is for sure on the very high side. 75 is a very good score, and yeah, typical like for cotton. If you get the 3 cottons out, that's already 27 points times 2, so 54 points, and then a couple of canals, a couple of coal, so you often get around 70 points. Then here for purple, I'm counting 52 points. There's one level 1 iron out there that will go away, so this doesn't count double. So it's 35 plus 17 basically. So 52 points. As I said, a couple of inefficiencies, and he could have, if he hadn't made those mistakes, he easily could have reached 60, 65, maybe even 70, but kind of lost 10 points because of that. Still has a fair amount of cash, okay-ish economy, so it's not out of the game, can still play a lot in real. And then at the end we have here teal. Teal has 51 points if I'm not mistaken, or 52 points. I'm counting here also the unflipped crate that is there. Behind for sure as well. I think not flipping this is a big deal. It's 5 points that's lost, plus he was probably counting on this, so this is like 8 points lost. And as I said, crates, mid-level crates, high-level crates, they're fairly tricky to play. You can't afford any mistake, and yeah, here maybe he should have had 1 extra beer out, for example. I mean, he has a fair amount of money, so maybe 1 less loan, 1 extra beer, and he could have flipped everything, and the beer, and the crate, and etc. But I invite you to look at my videos on high-level crates. So for sure, the man to beat here is red. Red is 10 points ahead of me. Now, there are some redeeming factors. High-level cotton has a lot of potential in rail. I said this before, cotton is the strategy with the highest ceiling, with the highest potential. Reaching 170 points, 175 points, it is possible, and there's no other strategy. You know, it's not with pottery you're going to get 175 points. It's not with crates, although crates in a very ideal scenario, maybe you can get 165 or so, but it's so easy to mess up or other people screw you up, so it's not going to happen. And also just with a pure break strategy with beer and iron and low-level crates, you get maybe 160 points. 165, everything goes really, really smooth. What can happen is if you get all your irons out and a lot of beer out, and other people consume your beer, and you don't get overbuilt in rail, then maybe 165, 170 is reachable as well. But it's also a lot of ifs. It's just easier with cotton to reach that maximum ceiling in a good scenario if you have the right cards, the right setup. So for red, for example, there's no iron more to build, so not many options. He might get overbuilt. Hopefully, will be overbuilt at least once. And this, with good players, it just often happens. There's 3 players going for iron here. I'm not building iron, and with that dynamic, there's often the potential to overbuild, especially the player who has no iron left to build, so he's very vulnerable to getting overbuilt by the others if they coordinate a bit. So he cannot build iron anymore. He can build a bit of coal, a bit of beers, but even the level 2 beer is not yet built. He can build a level 1 pottery for sure. And then the crates, level 3 and level 4 crate, they're not so strong. The level 5 is also not so strong. I mean, it's hidden behind the develop, so you already need to spend 1 action to develop. And the level 5 has a couple of weaknesses. It's only 8 points. Yes, if you surround the location, you get more out of it because of the link value, but that's also not so easy. And then it requires 2 beers to sell, which makes it quite cumbersome. You might have to overbuild one of your own beers, or, okay, if you're able to secure a farm brewery, you could use that. But 8 points and all this extra hassle compared to the 12 points from the level 4 cotton, it's just much weaker. This is already accessible to me. This is behind the develop and weaker. So I have more potential here. I just need to execute on it and convince the others to overbuild orange or overbuild red. Sorry, I'm not consistent in my naming of this color, but it's like between orange and red. Yeah, so we started with rail. Beer gets built in Coalbrookdale and then a double rail. I think that's okay. I mean, he has a bit of weakness that he's not present in the north, but that's from mistakes from the Canal era. I think here for rail, this is okay. We have then the next teal that is playing, and teal taking the 2 best links, I assume. I mean, so this link here is the best link, and highly contested typically. This beer is actually quite good because it's not easy to access for other players, so maybe no one else will be able to use it. From my side, I built a beer in stone, and then double railing as well. So yeah, at the start of Canal, start of rail, you want to fight for the remaining beer spots. And in this game, there's still quite a bit of them because not so much beer got built in Canal. You want to rail as much as possible to get the valuable points, spread out your network, so you're able to access afterwards the good locations. So for me, building here up north to Bulper would also have been good. So I can later build here an additional cotton. going here to south to Kidderminster and Worcester and this farm brewery would be interesting as well, because these slots they cannot be taken away by other players. They cannot. I mean, it's hidden behind 3 level 1 cottons, and the farm brewery would be interesting for me as well. But I'm kind of too far at the moment. I mean, I could build from Dudley to Birmingham, from Birmingham to there. Strategically, it's interesting, but point-wise, I think this is more interesting. I still have another beer card here that I maybe get to use in Burton-on-Trent. Yeah. So we continue playing here. Let me accelerate a little bit. Prices are already at max, and this often happens in rail that prices go up very high, and especially for coal. And now we're just waiting also to overbuild red. To be fair. So some discussions on what are the best links, but there are a couple of quite good ones. So red plays it fairly simple, so that he can go first in the next round, and then we'll double link using my beer. And I don't know, I think he also took a loan. Oh yeah, he's doing another link action as well. Yeah, probably best. Yeah, this is a good one. This is probably gonna be 6-7 points. There's a lot of free slots there, so it's interesting to have it as part of your network. Yeah, from my side I have 2 Belper cards, a league. Okay. Industry cards are a bit better in rail than in Canal. In Canal, because you need to have access to a place, and you don't want to build canals to get access to places, so the industry cards are in general a bit weaker. But in rail, it's less of an issue. Yeah, I'm now last. I spent the most in the first round, and you will see I will now be in a pattern where I'm last first, last first, last first. So this is I like playing like this because it gives you a lot of control. You play basically 4 actions in a row. So the idea is when you're lost, you play like a loan, a coal mine or something like this, or a beer, and then where you're first, you spend a lot of money. And this allows you to play 4 actions in a row. Makes it very easy to plan. You can pull off stronger combinations like quad rails, like a beer in one round, and then in the next round you double rail twice of it. Yeah. Till now, not much comments. I think the way you're playing, it's okay. Securing a farm brewery is fairly valuable if you're able to make use of it. So, in my view here for teal, should think a bit later. Let's say half rail, start building the high level crates here, then build a farm brewery, then sell everything at the end. That's probably how I would play it. And yeah, from my side, boosting a bit my income. I think in early rail, if you get up to 10, 12 income, it's quite nice. And yeah, and then start of next round, build a beer, and then double rail of it. I think I also took a loan in previous rounds. So loan, build a coal mine, and then double rail. These are still fairly valuable links, although I feel I should maybe have gone to the farm brewery here. Then again, I mean, I have at least 2 beers here for myself. I mean, there's 2 approaches to play it. One approach would be just build as many links, canals, and beer. Then you build 2 level 4 cottons and sell with the merchant beer. No one is there to contest you, so that's fine. Now you could also be, I'd say, a bit more ambitious and build the 3 level 4 cottons, but you might not be able to use this beer. This might be gone. And then, so you want to build a 3 level 4 cottons and also a level 1 pottery, which still scores fairly well. And then you sell with your own beer and 2 merchant beer. So you would need to have a farm brewery or overbuild one of your own beers. And this has really a lot of potential. If you sell 4 industries at once, it's a very efficient sell, especially if you get like good rewards. Yeah. So still a lot of beer gets supplied because not a lot was built during Canal. This is a bit unusual in this game. And at a certain point, you know, once the good rails are gone and the coal price is at maximum, double railing becomes kind of really expensive, and you're playing close to 30, or you're paying 30 for 2 rails, and then you might have to loan. So you're not scoring exceptionally well with that. That's just my feeling. Like, of course, it's different at the beginning of rail. If the coal price is a bit lower, if there's still like 8 points out there, you still want to spread your network. But for me, if I'm doing a strategy with only 2 level 4 cottons, I just need 2 slots to build my cotton, and that's fairly easy to reach with just Birmingham, Nuneaton, Belper, maybe League. So I kind of already have it. If I want to be a bit more ambitious, I might also build here towards this region and build there. But it's not even really neat. So I have the League card, I have the Belper card, I have the Thamesworth card. So all these locations I can build my cotton in it. So I don't really need to go there to get more space. No one is there to contest me. Okay, now they just steal my spot there, but I still have a lot of other options. And then orange, okay, takes the spots. Now, this is good for the farm brewery, but it's a bit weak because probably no one will build here, so this will not end up being super valuable links. Yeah, that's typically why other players don't do this and let the cotton player do it. Because kind of the player that's doing it might be sacrificing himself a bit, if it's not the cotton player. Yeah, we continue. At this point, there's something interesting developing here around Birmingham. No one is building a lot because it's not so valuable point-wise, but purple started to surround it a lot, and he might be eyeing the level 5 crates there. I mean, if you're able to surround a location and you get access to the beer that you need to, then I think it's nice. Not like game-winning, totally overpowered, but more like this is might pull up a bit your average. You may be scoring 6 points per turn instead of 5 with those moves, so that's good. But it's quite tricky to pull off, of course. Then from my side, building a coal. So at the stage, I forgot to highlight this, but the red level 2 iron got overbuilt by a level 3. So this loses red 5 points, which is important because red was 10 points ahead of me. And although I think my rail is better, because if you really look at his links, there are a couple of decent links here, but they're not that many links. And I'm actually a bit surprised why there's so few links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think maybe he should have gotten an additional call out, and he kind of didn't, and his economy was a bit weaker than expected. Plus he didn't get any beers out. Maybe a bit unlucky on the cards because there were still quite some beer slots out there. But I feel like red could have achieved more in rail. Let's say get 1 extra beer out, maybe 1 extra double rail, 1 extra call. I don't know. It feels like he's a bit behind where I thought he would be. From my side, I'm still ping-ponging from first place to last place, etc. the whole time. I find this a very comfortable way to play. And now we see purple build an additional link here to Redditch and developing away, so he's gonna build a level 5 one. It is satisfying to build such a thing, I have to say. I just think he was like 20-ish points behind in Canal compared to Red, compared to me. So now he's maybe keeping up, congrats to him. Maybe even catching up a little, but if you're 20 points behind, it's too large of a gap to kind of come back from in general. Yeah. We continue here. Red builds a pottery and I think a coal mine in Kidderminster. But yeah, these links here end up being a bit weaker. Plus he got overbuilt. Plus I think he was a bit unlucky on the call, I have the impression. So I'm thinking at this moment, I might have already caught up to red, to be fair. Okay, he's rethinking a bit his move here. I'm going to accelerate a bit through this as he's undoing his old move. That sometimes happens. Okay, I think in the end he still does the same thing, he confirmed. So there's not many good links out there. They're still valuable. I mean, this one here might turn out to be valuable because purple is putting a lot of things down there in Birmingham. But apart from that, these ones here might end up being 5 points, maybe towards Colebrookdale there might be still more like 4 or 5 points, but that's about it. And so we're at the stage of the game where if you're just building links, you peter out, your strategy just peters out. At that stage it's just very good to be a high level cotton player, because at the stage where other players don't have many good moves anymore, you're building 12-point buildings. 3 of them, plus maybe the level 1 pottery. Yeah, so this link, it's 3 points. maybe for, okay, it's not so strong. But he might still need it to expand his network to build some high-level trades. And what happens here is, yes, so Teal sells his level 1 pottery using this beer on top, and then he still had a crate somewhere, and I don't know exactly so where, but he sells, taking away the +3, bonus here. Alone, and then another level 5. Okay, this is pretty crazy. I mean, if this works, then this will really grant a lot of link points. Compared to, I mean, this level 5 gives 2 link points instead of 1, so it's you have basically 2 extra link points in this occasion compared to usual buildings, and then this is multiplied by 5, so it's like 10 extra points basically that purple is getting. So that's quite nice. Of course, you need 4 beers, and it's just very hard to get because this one is gone, this one is gone, so you have 1 from the merchant, and you need 3 extra beer. This looks crazy to me. When we were in game and purple was playing that, I was like, come on, how are you going to make this work? This makes no sense. And this is the fun of playing live. People are coordinating. Purple and teal, they know they're behind. They know they're not going to win, but they might as well coordinate, play together, help each other out, and maybe something is possible, right? I mean, teal still has a farm brewery, so if he builds there to help out purple, and then purple overbuilds one of his locations or so, then it can work out. From my side, I'm taking a loan, building my second last cotton. Yeah, then we have next teal was building a beer. And you will see he's actually gifting the beer to purple to help out purple. I mean, to help each other mutually out. I think that's fair. That's nice. That's part of the game. And I'm building then his level 4 iron. Very good. Would have preferred if he overbuilt red, but yeah, I guess he didn't have the card. We have then purple was overbuilding his own beer and then selling using the 4 beers. Very nice. I have to say, like, there's something aesthetically pleasing about this. If you play brass, if you love brass, then you're like me, you're kind of happy to see those. And I think it's underrated that 2 players that are behind, coordinate their play, help each other out. They should. I mean, there's no point not to. I feel so. Just like we actually slightly coordinated the overbuilding of red. It's a minor thing, but. If you have the option to overbuild, then let's coordinate the play a bit. So for my side, building 1 more coal, building my last cotton. So I'm going for 3 cotton strategy, which I actually, I don't think is the best. You either go for 2 and sell the merchant beer, or you go for 4, so the 3 plus the level 1 pottery. That's my opinion. And then you sell 4 industries. I find this 3 is a bit awkward because you don't have the beer for it, so you need to overbuild, but then you actually have a bit too much beer, so it's just a bit kind of but it's a minor thing. Red here builds a farm brewery. This is a bit painful. This is kind of what I don't really like when I go for break. The farm brewery, it's not so interesting to you because you're not able to consume the beer unless you use it for quadrille. But by the time you use it for quadrille, there's not many good link locations left. I mean, this is still 5 points. This is still 5 points. Well, okay, maybe there's still some options here. I guess in this situation it worked out okay. He used up 1 to sell his pottery, and he's now first in player order, so he can double rail for 2 decent links. Yeah, I guess in this case it has worked out fine, but often it ends up not as strong as if you're building high-level industries. His second move is, I think he passes for his second move. Yeah, he just passes. Quite painful. I mean, a typical move is worth 5 points, as we said, but he's out of money to do anything. And I mean, even if he had the money, he could still build a link. Yeah, he could still get 3 points with a link here or here, but it's still quite painful to pass. So you see, in the end, this farm brewery is a bit awkward for a break player. I think you either use it fairly early to double raid, or you use it late to sell high-level industries. And we go back to this moves here that Red played to secure the farm brewery. At the time, I felt they were a bit of a mistake or not really needed. Now, in the end, because so much got built here, this is worth 6 points. That's good. and this one is worth 3 points, but he got it. That's okay. So I guess in the end it worked out okay-ish. Not great, but okay-ish. But it's partially because purple built so much here. I still think, at the moment itself, I would not have played these two moves. I think it was a small mistake. Yeah, and we continue some minor endgame optimization here. People are playing their last two actions. I'm curious what the score is. I feel I had a very good Canal and a good rail. Red had the exceptional Canal, but his rail was a bit more shaky. Not too many links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, decent, but I don't know. Feels like it could have been more. And he got overbuilt once. Then purple got this very nice surround of Birmingham. And then teal, I had expected this much more from teal actually. So now he builds up a high level crate and then sells it. And you know, some of these links, they're not so strong. Actually, he didn't have so many links, but he could have played a bit more in the high level industry, but I guess his Canal was just a bit too weak. And yeah, again, please look at my other guides on how to play high level crates. It's really not so easy. For me, I overbuilt one of my beer and then sell everything and get another merchant beer, so plus 3 points. And this concludes this game. Yeah, I'm paying all my money here. This is not correct. I think we were just kind of laughing at the end. And this concludes the game. And as you can see, the cotton play here, good merchant setup, nicely able to play off other people's moves in Canal, and then just a solid rail and 174 points. With 3 merchant points in rail and 3 merchant points in Canal. But as you can see, if you're all alone going cotton and the others don't disturb you, there's not a second player going cotton or someone building low level cotton or somehow messing up your plan. And then cotton is just extremely strong, has extremely high ceiling. And on the other players, red played very well in Canal, still has a very good score. 156 would often be a winning score, but between the overbuilds and maybe a bit less, just by nature a bit less potential in rail, I was able to kind of gain I was 10 points behind and I ended up 20 points ahead, so I caught up 30 points. It's actually very, very big. And then purple and teal, they fell behind in Canal. They were both around 20, 25 points behind. They were able to maintain and even close a bit the gap. So congratulations on them. I think their rail error was much better, especially from purple. And I also liked how they coordinated a bit and played a bit together. Very fun to see here how Birmingham ended. For today, I think I convinced you to play cotton, to try it out yourself. When you do it on Tabletop Simulator, on the parlor, feel free to hit me up. Try it out once without anyone else going cotton. It makes it much easier, much smoother. If someone else is going cotton, it's a very different experience and quite tricky. That's it for today. Spoon out. See you.